Lisa says, so confusing to me why friend and family wants discounts. They know you. They want, you know them. Just put the mirror on yourself. Why shouldn't they? Like, why do they want discounts? Because they're your friend? Well, why do you not want to give them a discount? They're your friend. Like, what I'm saying is, if we all just spend zero energy of being mad at our customers, zero, and take all that energy, all that yapping with your, do you know who listens to you complain? Other people that complain. I promise you, if we were friends and relatives and you called me with that dumb shit of like, fuck Ron, he was always trying to get a deal. I'm like, say no. Well, Gary, I need, oh, you need that $1,500. You want 2,000, but you'll take the 1,500. So stop being a hypocrite. Let's make a commitment, all hands in on this ignition seminar, all hands in, all collectively, that we never again, all hands in, that we never again, ever again, blame our customers. They have the right in a capitalistic environment like America to ask, but you have the power to say no. And if you say yes, don't listen to where I'm at a different point in my career now. We now say no to people who want to pay us $2 million a year to do our services when we were ecstatic to take $5,000 a month 14 years ago. So know where you're at, but when you say yes, own it. People are like, Gary, are you so tired and exhausted? I'm like, I made this bed. I'm a hungry entrepreneur. I made my bed. I have to sleep in it. You think I'm going to complain about being tired when I'm living in my bed that I made? You've got to live in the bed you make. If you say yes, you say yes, but you only have to do it that 1 year. You're allowed to ask for more the next year. And if they say no, you're allowed to say yes. You're not a pushover. Do you know how many times I've negotiated and be like, I can't do it, Dawn. Logan, you're out of your mind. I can't do it for less than 30K. Logan's like, 20K, bro. And then at 11:59 before it hits 12, I'm like, fine, I'll do it for 20K. I like you, Logan. You shaved your beard. We'll do it this year, right? Like, you're in full control. And I don't feel like I'm a pushover or a loser in that situation because I didn't win that current kind of negotiation. I feel like I was in control of making my decision at the last minute that worked for me. And whether you give free to your family, like I see Jennifer, or if you charge them double, you're just in control, and you're wasting a lot of energy overthinking it based on your own insecurities, not what they're doing wrong. That this is an insular game, that you take your 2 index fingers and you put them in your ears and you worry about nothing besides you and what you can do about what you need to do. Forget about it. If you do not want to use technology after the motivation that we've done here for an hour, mazel tov, good for you. But if you get your ass kicked the next 2 or 3 years, you better own it, and don't tell me that it's fucking Elon Musk's fault or America's fault or the Democrats' fault or the Republicans' fault. Fucking fingers and ears, you're in full control, 100% in control, 100. You're 100% in control, okay? You are 100% in control, not 99. And with that, you will start making decisions that can make you much happier. And whether that's to go harder at technology after today, I'm telling you, I saw some of you jump into this. I'm so pumped. The number one way to have a happier life and a more productive life in service businesses is never blaming your customer. I'm so pumped we got that in serendipitously here. Because you'll see what happens. It just changes everything. You start hiring another person, you start charging more, you actually fire 2 people. By the way, if you can afford it, because some of you can't, but no one should treat you nasty. You don't understand how much it's costing you. And I know all of you have that 1 or 2 client that just curse at you, or, like you're all humans. You probably missed some sort of $538 rebate. Somehow they figured it out. They call you in fucking June and you're a piece of shit. Fuck that shit. Do not allow anyone to be overly nasty. Once in a blue moon, maybe their mom's dying from a disease you didn't know. Like, if someone's proved to you that they're a good human being and they have a bad moment, we have to have stability and capacity for that. But if someone's consistently shown you that they're not a nice person and they're paying you to beat you up to get their anger and hurt out on you because you're a service provider, you fire that customer. I mean that right now. I mean, again, or you're where I was 14 years ago and all of us were. Maybe you're in that year 1, 2, 3 where you really need it. or maybe you just put your kid in private school and like you just need it, and like that's okay, because now you're doing it for a reason. I eat shit constantly, even at the level that I play out, because I know why I'm doing it. So this, one big game, Maddie, of self-awareness is my final piece of advice. One big game of self-awareness and self-love for yourself, about yourself, but hold yourself accountable. No excuses. Matt, do you know how crazy it is how many people spend their entire life complaining about what their parents fucked up as if they're not fucking up their kids?
Oh, my sister's a therapist. I get all the skinny. Lots.
It's like constant. It's like what? Okay, but what? You're 49, Johnny. What are you gonna do about it? Like, I get it. Your mom fucked up. Cool. Everyone's mom fucked up. Like accountability is the gateway to happiness. There is no bad customers. There's just bad behavior that you created to create a bad customer. Mm-hmm. And if they're bad, no, that's you being strategic to eat some shit to get to the next place. We actually have our whole lives backwards. You should be doing the most high risk, high reward work from 20 to 30. The problem is that's when everybody expects you to grow up. I think, and grow up has transferred in our modern society to safe. I think that everybody under 30 should be tasting everything to get a better sense of what they're interested in. So I'd like you to call your parents and tell them, if they are, or they may not be, I don't want any more money from you. And then I want you, and then I want you to go on a plane and go to Scotland for no reason. Listen, I get tens of thousands of DMs from kids that are in their 20s and 30s that have deep underlying resentment and depression because their parents are quietly paying for their lives. Which I then tell them, like, don't take the money, jerk. But there's almost nothing worse than a parent subsidizing secretly their child's grown-up life. It will eventually be exposed and talked about, and I can't wait, because a lot of the underlying depression that is confusing people is actually coming from those sources. My belief is that if we all agree that something is my responsibility and it does not go well, then I need to be 100% accountable. Like, the amount of leaders and CEOs and leaders I talk to that will tell me the reason this year went bad was, well, their head of sales was just shit the bed, or my CFO, like they just keep talking. And I wait, I eat it, I rope a dope, little Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, and then I go in for my move. I'm like, you hired them. You are allowed to fire them. I have good news. 100% of the problems in your business are your fault. Like, it's true, and in this framework, the energy in this kind of framework of a business, if you spend 1 minute crying about what they're doing in corporate, that's a minute you're not spending on the shit that you do control. I just will never understand it. I sit on some I sit on the board of Bojangles, right? Franchisor, franchisee. And all these people, they're like, some franchisee came up to me because they know I'm on the board, and they just start shitting on the brand. And they're like, he's like, Gary, you have to understand, entrepreneur to entrepreneur, this is a real problem. I looked him dead in the face and said, bro, you're not an entrepreneur. If you sit in a framework where you rely on a corporate entity to be a partner, you're not a full-bred entrepreneur. And you must face that. That is the truth. I said to him right to his face, I said, if you're an entrepreneur, you would start, instead of having a franchisee of Bojangles, you would start Schmo-Shangles. And this goes back to self-awareness, period. So what do I think about accountability? I think it stuns me with all the shit that's going on in my life, how happy I am. And when I deconstructed that over 25 years, number 3 is the game. It gets really good. It's why everyone's so unhappy right now. They actually believe all the propaganda in media and social media that everybody but themselves is in charge. You don't like the school? Take your kid out. You don't like America? Fucking move. there was another book I wrote called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And it talked about the individual posts can be jabs. You're not setting up, the reason most people in insurance, when I analyze it, both on the brand or on the individual level, don't succeed, is every one of your posts is a sales pitch. And they smell it, and they're not interested. When you start mixing it, and you start talking about Zelda and golf, or, this is a big one, make pretend that you retired from this, and you've now started an insurance media business. You're now the Bloomberg or CNBC of insurance, and you're not talking as a human who's trying to sell something, but you're talking a level up about the space or the opportunities or this new tax law. You're talking about information, that's education, that becomes a gateway. That's a good framework to think through.
I'd say one last thing.
Please.
Is don't give up after like 2 posts.
Yeah, I mean, that goes back to 7, tenacity. Like, this is what always blows me away. People that got in this room, you put in the work. And then you go into this new arena and you're like 4 posts in, you're like, I suck, fuck that Gary guy. The first 1,000 posts I made meant nothing. So like, I'd like to think that this room understands what a good day's work, putting in the work, learning really means, and how that can actually impact the outcome. And so, yeah, I mean, look, I really think the content thing is very misunderstood. Like very. People, they have all sorts of feelings about social media, that it's bad, that the kids, I get it, but I really hate making headline reading opinions your business strategy. Let me sneak one in. Well, I'm the worst, I know. One more, somebody.
He told me, he's like, Saeed, I gotta get out of here at 3:55.
I know, but we've got to roll here.
Right.
Anybody got a quick question?
Right here, Christina.
All right.
You saw the board.
Yes.
You saw the board here with all.
I did, which fired me up. I wanted, you know how crazy I am, Christina? I saw the board, I'm like literally my DNA, I'm like, I need to get to the top of that fucking board. like I'm like, should I retire and join this company to get on the top of these boards fuck me up, but go ahead.
All right, 2 questions. How do you get to the top of that board using all 12 and a half?
By knowing which 2 or 3 to use in every circumstance, both on the customers you're trying to get and on the employees that work for you.
Second, and I'm just gonna use myself as an example. Let's say we have somebody on the board, or a group of people on the board, what have you, like someone in your company. Maybe you've got a great salesman. You know, he's top of the game, and but there's some toxicity around.
Yeah.
Do you risk that?
So it's interesting. In my company, yes, because everyone's an actual employee of the corporation. This is a little bit of a different framework, right? Yeah. Like this is not a corporation and you're all employees, you have your own shit. My answer to that is a little bit different. My answer to, if you look at that board and you're like, damn, I want to get there, but I don't want to compromise or act like that. That goes to a thing that me and my father fought about for 20 years. When I started working for my dad at 22 years old, I told him, I will spend 0 minutes on our competition. He thought that was the craziest shit he ever heard. He was obsessed with what every liquor store in New Jersey did and what they got. Did they get a better deal on this vodka? Why didn't, he just spent all his energy on everyone else. I said, Dad, the only people I'm gonna pay attention to is first our employees, second our customers, and way down here, number 29, I'll have a sense of what the competition's doing because you never wanna be delusional and audacious. But when I tell you very few seconds will be spent on them because what they do has no impact. I promise you, if I started in this company tomorrow, had no contacts on that board, within a half decade, I'd be the first person on this board, I promise you, because nothing and no one on that list is stopping you from doing what you need to do.
You and your brother, you lead the firm. I'm sure you think about this. You've
Yes.
got kids. All of us have
Yep.
kids. We have a lot of happy nepotism here. So I'm just curious how the 12 and a half fit in with that.
Well, number 3 is a big one. We just touched on it. Like, my kids, I think all of us who've garnered success, especially if we didn't start with anything, have feelings towards this. I think about accountability. Look, I'll give you a really good answer to this. When all those really wealthy people started saying things 10 years ago that they were giving 99% to charity, right? Gates, and I was like, that's crazy, because I come from an immigrant family where like everything's passed on. I promise you, I don't think that's crazy anymore. You know, what do I think about succession plan? I think it's about parenting. I'm thrilled to talk about it in the macro. I have no interest in telling anyone here what to do. That's their business, their money, their prerogative. But what I will tell you is, you want your kids to be hungry? Don't feed them. Like, you know, like people, I'm on the board of Charity Water. We build wells in Africa. One of the things that's incredibly passionate to me, as something that when I got educated about it, I just couldn't understand. You wanna talk about gratitude, number one? 730 million people on earth right now do not have access to clean water within a day. Water, the shit that is on your table. That really shook me. You know, you wanna talk about real, like, you know, we think about all this stuff, you know, right? Water. So it's amazing. When I got involved with Scott Harrison, you should all look up Charity Water. It's pretty profound if you want to learn a little bit about it. Anyway, it was 1 billion people only 10 years ago. I'm really proud of the work. I put a lot of time and effort into it, and I'm a well member, which means our donations pay for the staff. It means if you give $1, it all goes to the work, not the bullshit that we see with these nonprofits. Anyway, enough of that commercial. My friends hit me up all the time. Hey Gary, you're a well member on Charity Water. Can I send my kid to Africa with you for a week to be on the ground? I'm like, you can, and you should. But if you think your private school, private jet riding 17-year-old is gonna go to Africa for a week and somehow profoundly change into another human being, you're out of your goddamn mind. My friends, none of us can fake environment. You can't fake environment. What we can do is teach our kids that it's not their money and they should be kind to people. What we can do is stop giving them money. That's your choices, but as succession planning, I think $1 million, $1 million inherited is an obnoxious amount of money. And so I've stopped thinking about that a long time ago, because I think about all the kids that are growing up right now that grew up the way I am, that would kill my kids in any level of competition in merit-based business. And that doesn't bother me. I don't want my kids to be entrepreneurs. I don't want my kids to be even business winners. I want them to be kind. And I want them to like what they do the way I like what I do. My favorite part about being an entrepreneur is I love the game, not the things the game allows me to buy. Look, listen, it's the same shit for the last 20 years. Like, marketing is how you grow a business, right? Obviously the product has to be good, but you have to get out there and create demand for your business, right? You could do it through word of mouth. You could be great at what you do and people talk about it, that's great. But if you want to accelerate, and I have no idea, I mean, there's no reason anyone's in this auditorium right now, you know, on this Thursday, unless they're trying to grow. So I'm just defaulting into thinking everybody here has ambition and hunger and trying to do shit. So I know everyone here is trying to do something. What I'm always confused by is why we keep looking for some sort of shortcut. My favorite entrepreneurs are fitness entrepreneurs. Fitness entrepreneurs make me laugh so much because unless they cheat, which I know a lot of fucking people do, they know the way to do it is the discipline. Like, you gotta do the exercise properly, you've gotta do it every fucking day or often, and you've gotta eat properly. Like, people know how to get into better shape. There's no fucking secret. I mean, there's no Benzig or whatever the fuck that shit is now, but, you know, like, the right way to do it is pretty simple with the gym and with your fork and spoon, but it's hard to do. But fitness entrepreneurs are always like rolling up, they're like, yo, but how do I do it fast? And I'm like, you spend your day every day teaching people that there is no fast physically, but you're looking for fast business-wise. The reason I pound patience, and I watch the data, I know how many of you are tired and have no interest in me telling you it takes time. I get why everybody wants it fast. Everybody wants it fast because the world's insecure. Everybody wants to win fast because they want to show everybody else that they won. I understand you want to prove it to the girl that didn't fuck with you in high school. I get that you want to prove it to your dad who never said you had it. I understand. All this shit, all this business stuff, it's all this. It's always this. I understand fake it till you make it. I understand, I'm watching it all. It's all I do. All I do for life is watch people. Nothing confused me about people. I understand y'all. I get it. The problem is, it's the same shit every time. For example, the thing that breaks my heart is that people actually think money makes you happy. I know what people say when they don't have it. They're like, cool, give it to me and I'll figure it out. I get it. How many people here have rich friends? Make some noise. Of the people that just made noise, how many of you have rich friends that you know right now are super fucked up, super unhappy, drugs, alcohol, all sorts of shit? Make some noise. All of them. You're right, bro, honestly, on some real shit, one of the advantages of growing up in the dirt and coming up a certain way is you have lots of friends and a lot of family that you know live not in a millionaire lifestyle, and you watch. I wish some of my millionaire friends could have the lifestyle of some of my high school friends that are deeply happy, but don't make the same level of paper. Money doesn't make you happier, money exposes you. Money and fame expose, they don't change. He changed. He didn't change. You didn't know him. Now you know him. You understand? So that's a whole separate thing. But on this business front, I'll give you, maybe I had it right with my first book. My first book, subtitle of Crush It, was Cashing In on Your Passion. Maybe what was clear to me in my early 30s has become, again, very clear to me as I get closer to 50. I don't know how you can work hard enough to beat your competition if you don't like the thing you're doing. I watch every day for the last 20 years, people chase whatever current trend they think they can make money in. Real estate every 8 years, crypto, cannabis, like social media influencer. Like I've watched people's profile on Twitter over the last 15 years change 9 times of what expert they are. You can't win if you don't like it because somebody else likes it and they're gonna outwork you. You can't. It's not sustainable. Unless you love the fucking process, it's too hard to be an entrepreneur. I know it got cool because I'm 47. I remember when it wasn't cool. I'm a direct beneficiary of it becoming cool. This is this is not the life I expected. Businessmen were just behind the scenes and you lived and you built businesses. I understand that it's pop culture now. I understand that people aspire toward it. But if I could wish anything for everybody in this room as I look corner to corner, besides health, I would wish you self-awareness. There's a lot of people sitting in here wanting or are delusional that they're a great entrepreneur, and what they really are is a great number 2 and a great number 3. The number 4 at Facebook and Tesla made a lot more money than 99.9% of the number 1s that started companies. Thanks, Mom. Self-awareness. Everybody's so focused on what they wish they could be that they're not paying attention to who they are. So thank you. Seriously. Let me tell you why I understand all my spiel to be true. Because I've been putting out, and millions of other people have been putting out, the direct black and white content to make it work. There's unlimited content on how to build a business, what the right tactics are, how to use Shopify, how to use WordPress, how to use eBay, how to use TikTok. There's unlimited content. The reason I started to over time evolve into I gotta figure this out because why hasn't everyone figured it out? You start realizing it has nothing to do with the tactics. Literally, there's nothing from a knowledge standpoint when it comes to business that isn't available for free. I don't know if you've heard about Google or ChatGPT or YouTube. Use those 3 free products and you can get the direct answer. I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your notebooks out here. There's nothing to write down. It's all here. It's not the tactics. I built my daddy's liquor store not with social media. I built it with newspaper ads. Shit cost money. Television commercials that were local. We didn't have that kind of money. That cost money. Fucking billboards. Those motherfuckers took my money. Google AdWords killed for me, but it was still fucking money. This shit's free. And I don't know if you paid attention what happened in the last 2 years in social. It changed. Social for the first 10 years was based on the social graph. Now it's based on the interest graph. Let me explain. The first 10, 12 years of social media was more like email marketing. You amassed people to follow you, you post, and a percentage of them opened, right? They saw it. Now, the algorithms are taking over, and it's around interest. There are people in this room who've never been on TikTok who can leave this conference and say, fuck it, Gary got me, I'll do it, let me go. And their first post with 0 followers can get 8,000, 20,000, 100,000, 1 million views. That's real, that happens every day. That's insane. Not only is it free, it actually is being seen. Unlike all my clients who continue to buy TV commercials. Who here has seen a fucking TV commercial ever besides the Super Bowl? We don't even watch regular TV and cable TV anymore. Every one of you fuckers have 4 you complain about money, but you have 6 subscriptions to every streaming service. You haven't been on fucking HBO Max in 100 years. YouTube, social, streaming. We don't even watch those things. So look, there's such an outrageous level of opportunity right now, and it's a game of the haves and have-nots, meaning either you see it, AKA, either you decide the world sucks and everything's hard and there's a lot going on, I get it, or you decide not. Like, sometimes when someone's complaining and is my homie, I give them my phone and I'm like, look at my stream. My stream is like fucking kittens kissing each other, like the fucking sun coming out. My stream's positive as fuck because I protect my fucking sanity. No shit you're gonna be upset if you only consume negativity. No shit you're gonna be upset if the core people in your life spend 100% of their time complaining. And it's hard. Almost all of us have either a negative mom or dad. That's already hard. And that shit's hard. But I remind my friends, I'm like, you're 40. You're gonna still complain and blame mommy and daddy for everything? Instead of buying a fucking Maserati, go get therapy, dick. And I get not everybody can afford therapy, but exercise, free meditation apps, like just genuinely putting positivity in your ears instead of negativity. It is stunning to me that 99% of this room just listen to all of this and will 100% do nothing about it. I've been doing this a long time. I know, and it gets into the things that really upset me the most. It's because people don't want to be on film and deal with people's comments about how they look or what they said. The insecurities, back to why you're not scaling, drive me crazy. Let me just say something that I know has been working on a lot of people, and I hope it helps a couple people here if they're hesitating to post. Your hesitation to post because you're concerned about feedback of how you look or what you said or all that shit that we all know. I just want to remind you, you're not doing something to grow your business and make yourself happier because someone on the other side has the worst life on earth. Because if you go around the internet finding people who are trying to build and who have joy, and your response to that is to try to find a way to hurt them because misery loves company, we should not be mad at the people that are leaving these negative comments. We should have compassion for them. I'm a very public figure. I get plenty of shit. I never feel bad for me. Not because I'm egotistical or confident or anything else. It's because it makes no sense. Human beings spending their time trying to tear down other human beings are in a bad place. So please, don't stop building your dream or your happiness or your joy because there are people out there that are unhappy and will see that light in you and try to bring you down for a nanosecond. When you're faced with it, deploy compassion to their hurt. Don't deploy it to you. Be happy that you're not spending time doing that shit. I think we should do Q&A. I don't really, I've so much, but the pillars are there. I think most of this is business strategy and content. The content thing is a humongous hole. All of you are grossly underproducing content for the internet, LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts. And then just back to the people stuff, the psychology, the human stuff. I'll leave it with this and then you can jump out. What a lot of you are doing is you're lying to yourself, but you can't. A lot of you are lying to yourself. You need to really leave this talk and understand some of the things we talked about that's stopping your growth. Here's a good one. Who owns their business? Raise your hand. 100% of the problems you have in your business is your fault. Well, Gary, Sarah's really fucking up. You hired Sarah. My favorite one over the last decade, people blame their business not growing on the president. Just on the record, I made money with Bush, I made money with Obama, this is insanity. People, you're gonna blame the mayor? People have become obsessed with blaming. 100% of the problems in your business are your fault. 100.
What?
Yep. You made every decision. It's not your mommy's fault. It's not your dad. It's definitely not your competition. What do you want them to do, lose to you? 100% is your fault. And once you understand what that actually means, life gets good. The second you understand that you can do anything. You can close up shop and start a new business. You can move to Sweden. You can do anything. But you can't if you think somebody else is in control.
What do you say to the people, oh, I'm posting too much and people are gonna get annoyed at me? Is 3 too much?
Nobody's gonna see it anyway. I post 67 times a day and reach less than 1% of the people that follow me. Problem solved, let's move on.
Right, but also you mentioned don't be afraid. Stop saying, I don't wanna try it, I can't do it, just do it.
Yeah, but I get that because that's how we are in all things. I didn't want to get healthier 10 years ago and then finally I got over the hump, but I was thinking about it for 10 years. Right. I don't judge anyone here. No judgment. I'm just telling you what will happen. Mm-hmm. It'll be good. You're not my sister. I don't give a fuck if you do it. If I come back here in 3 years and you're all we're out of business, we didn't listen, I'm sorry. So, this is how from 2009 to 2023, 2006 to 2023, over the last 17 years of me talking on the internet, why I got more into mindset, because after about 6 or 7 years of just telling the world what to do and realizing nobody did it, it became more clear to me that this wasn't about you not knowing what to do. That's where the Google joke comes from. This is about what's stopping you. What's the insecurity? A lot of people don't actually want to face that they're finished.
Right.
A lot of you don't want to face the fact that your fire's gone. What's stopping you is you're tired and you're not passionate and you don't have the fuel. I'm very empathetic to the millions of different reasons why someone here would not want to do it. Right. But I can't stop talking about it when it's 100% true.
Right, and if they don't do it or don't make any change and they keep complaining about it.
Well, don't even get me into that part.
No, I know. We'll extend it for another.
No, really, what I was talking about my friend, it's the only people that listen to you complaining is other people that complain or someone who's required to, like your mom. Like it's not, you complain, like that drives me crazy. Like, Gary, it's so hard out here. I'm like, but you're not doing shit.
Right.
Like, it's very nice that this worked for you in 2017. It's not 2017. Like that's that in small businesses, and this was like what I grew up with, well, this is what got us here. I'm like, that's nice. What do you want, a cookie? I'm glad that this is what you did in 2002 to get here. It's fucking 2024. We need to do something different. The end. I really genuinely hope that people heard me on some of the psychology stuff of the way you're operating people or how to strategize your business, and equally I mean, you've heard about the social media thing for long enough. Please let this be the evening that you decided to finally be committed, and do it for a year, because even the 10% in this room that will do it will quit in the first 30 days. In 3 weeks, you'll post 24 times or whatever, nothing will happen. On the 24th time, you're like, I don't know what that fucking guy Gary was talking about. You know, you're gonna get to that place, but it's like anything else. Put in the work over a sustained period of time. I think you'll be surprised.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, just one more.
Just one more.
Push yourself, just one more time, and that will be the time to change it.
And if you really are educated, and you like really like listen to me and start really Googling and trying to get good at it, like you start running I'm talking a couple $100, $300 against employees of 2 different companies with your content. You'd be surprised how much will come. Right now, I'll use a real estate comp. The reason I'm pushing all of you on LinkedIn is I'm basically telling you, hey, there's this place called Malibu. This is like 100 years ago. Hey, there's this place called Malibu. I think you should buy a house on the water, right? Somebody bought those houses, and they're worth a lot more money now 100 years later. Attention is bought like real estate. There's underpriced deals at all times. Right now, LinkedIn is very underpriced, just like TikTok was 4 years ago when I was yelling about it. And for you, this is a fucking blessing because you've been left out. B2B's been left out. So LinkedIn acting like Facebook right now, at the same time that there's more demand for events than ever and will be for the next 36 months. This, you know, I'd like to think all of you understand there's moments when you need to hit. This is a moment that you need to hit, and I hope you go hard the next 3 years. The concept that I have to answer this question in 2023 blows my mind, because it was the question I was answering in 1996 in local chambers of commerce in New Jersey, which looked like the following. Gary, and I was like 21 and I looked like 16 at the time. So I get where the cynicism came from for the business people. They're like, Gary, this website thing you're talking about, it sounds like a waste of money. We have the yellow pages. Like, why would somebody have to find you on the interwebs, World Wide Web? Like, everyone uses the yellow pages. And I was like, John, everybody used to ride a fucking horse to work. Now we use a car. You know, the answer to your question is, if people on average are losing $76,000 that are on this call by not using technology, and even if that's an inflated number, if the number's $1,000 plus time, you know how many people here, if they used proper technology, would be able to go and see their kids' soccer game during tax season? Like this is time and money. Like, I don't understand, like, your ideology that you hate AI or you hate technology or you liked it better in the 80s when the kids played outside. Like, I'm sorry, like, you live in 2023 and you're running a business, and to not use technology or demonize technology is asinine. You use technology for everything. If you don't like technology, why do you have an iPhone? If you don't like technology, why do you use Uber? If you don't like technology, why do your food with Seamless? And you do all these things in real life. Like, why don't you use a paper ticket at the airport? You're using your QR code. Like, if you're doing all those things, how on God's green earth are you not using technology to make more money and have more time with your family? And because you're not used to it or you don't like it, I get it. Like, it's like, you don't want another app, you don't want to pay the SaaS fee if you don't use it. I get it. The problem is, it's pretty well documented that you're wrong. And more importantly, if your competitors continue to get more efficient at this, they're going to take your business. So real quick in the chat, for the 600 plus of you, how many of you are retiring in the next 5 years? And I don't mean you're going to crush it and make so much money and buy an island. I mean, you're old and you're finished and you're done in 5 years. How many are retiring within the 5 years? Good. So for Al Dorf and one other person, okay, like I can wrap my head around you kind of like mailing it in the next year or two because you're wrapping it up. But for everyone else here, when I see Jack at 26 years old in the chat, like, what are we doing here? Forget about this technology. Like, everybody here should be using AI every day. And nobody is. I know that to be true. It's that early. I get it. By the way, me included. You know, I'm giving my own advice. I'm like kind of giving advice to myself. Like, I really need people to wrap their head around not understanding how to use better tools. Like, look, I get that you can like get a screw into a wall by using a rock, but like we invented the screwdriver, use it. Like, I get that you can eat with your hands. I, by the way, do that often, but it's like the fork exists. Like, the concept to not use software to make more money and have more time for your family, bananas to me. Believe it or not, there's no razz on this. I'm empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't let my cursing and Jersey energy right now throw anyone off. I'm deeply empathetic. My father didn't accept credit cards or have a computer in the store when I started in 1993. I'm like, we didn't take credit cards. I'm like, Dad. He's like, people have checks. I'm like, not for long, bro. Like I'm like, Dad, we don't have our inventory figured out. He's like, we count it by paper. I'm like, Dad, they're stealing. Your managers are stealing shit. But like technology is good. I understand you didn't want to pay. Like, I have such an old school father, Matt. Do you know that my father still doesn't wire money digitally? He like still signs the checks. We have 100 employees at Wine Library in Springfield, New Jersey right now.
Yeah.
And my father can't vacation because on Wednesdays he has to sign everyone's check. You know, like, I'm deeply empathetic. I live with an old, like, my favorite person on earth professionally is my father. And I like basically still help him manage his business. Like, I understand. I just also refuse to take an opportunity and miss it. If anyone is part of that crew on this call or listening in the future, you will make more money and you will have more time and you will be happier if you make the commitment. No different than eating better and going to the gym will be better for your health. News alert, it's better. And like, that doesn't come natural to me. All the muscles in my body only happened in the last 10 years, not the prior 38 years. I'd never been in the gym in my life. I drink less soda. I eat less candy. I eat less carbs. All are devastating to me. I want them. They are delicious. But if I want the right things to happen, you do the right things. For the people, like, I don't understand business people not wanting to run a better business. I understand being hesitant because it doesn't come natural to you.
Mm-hmm.
But the cat's out of the bag. It's like I said 10 times already. It's 2024. It's hard to compete without technology. And I'm not even getting into what I need everybody else to do of what I care about, which is everybody here should be making 2 to 3 posts on LinkedIn a day to get customers. Like, we're not even getting in, like, what you're talking about is like oxygen and like getting out of bed. Like, the shit you're talking about is like step 1. You don't want me to unleash on these people, Maddie.
I don't know, Gary, you're getting me pumped here.
No, but I mean, like to your point, like, for your agenda and like what you want for these people, both for yourself and for them, like, to me, that's just like waking up in the morning. For me, I'm worried about everyone here not producing content on social media. I'm worried about everybody here not having their website properly. I'm worried about people here not really creating funnels that lack friction to create business development. I'm worried about here people being complacent of word of mouth because they've been doing it for 22 years. Gary, you don't get it. I've been the local CPA. I'm like, that's great, Don. But like, I promise you right now, I can start a firm in any single place tomorrow and take tons of people's business from here, never doing the work prior, hiring a kid that's been doing it for 3 years. I'm not going to get to it, but like, somebody else is. Like, Zillow became a problem for real estate. Like, let there be no confusion. The Googles and the Apples and the Amazons, they're coming for your business, everyone. You better wake up. They'd rather not put in the work for, and I don't say that lightly. I don't say that to harass anybody. It's an ideology and a demonization and a insecurity that they can't learn it without realizing they're way more capable than they think.
Mm-hmm. And going back, you ask people like, who's going to be retiring in like 5, say 10 years? Is there advice you might give for someone who is retiring, who's thinking like, you're an accountant, this was your business, like this, there's a lot of money in that firm. Have you ever talked to anybody about like future-proofing their business to say like, if you're not on technology, and I'm sorry if I'm front-loading the question, but if you're not on technology.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because a lot of people here, based on the comments, have a sense of me and a lot of people don't. And one of the reasons I think I have nice vibes towards me is I'm not just interacting with the Facebooks and the Twitters and the Ubers. I'm like answering random DMs at like 2 a.m. from like small businesses that have like 3, like I love people and I love small business. I come from small business. I grew up in a 1-store liquor store in New Jersey. Of course, nobody's gonna buy your shit if you don't have tech.
Yeah.
Like it's 2024. They don't want your cell phones in your phone, and that's your business. Your book of business is dramatically less valuable if it's not got a layer of tech infrastructure to the people that would actually buy it.
Yeah.
Like I would pay, I actually, not in this sector, but in a different industry, I told a friend's cousin to buy the leading software, which was like $5,000 a month, which was expensive for how small the business was, but they were ready to sell it because I knew they could arb out the $60,000 investment on the exit of the business, and they did. They literally got $1 million offer more because they had the tech, even though they weren't even using it. Matt, they weren't even using it. They just had the license and put it. So like, to your point, I wasn't even thinking this. Kudos to you on the question. It's 2024. Jesus fucking Christ.